So, good evening, friends. Another good topic today. In these four talks, which he gave in 1985, just a year before his death, in these four talks, you will find that he has talked everything that he talked for 70 years. This is a this is a gist, a cream of what he talked about for 70 years. So I'll start and I'll put off my video. Yes, this is really not a talk, but a conversation between us, a conversation between two friends, each one of us is addressing. So you and the speaker are going to talk over things together. That is, you do not merely listen to the speaker, but enter into the spirit. You see the word he has used. This talk is mainly about uh, uh, seeing and listening and security. But enter, you see, I'll repeat this one, that you do not merely listen to the speaker, but enter into the spirit, into the inquiry. So you have to exercise your brains as much as possible. Do not accept anything he says. Be skeptical. Question, inquire, and if you will, together we shall take a long journey, not only outwardly, but inwardly into the whole psychological world, the world of thought, the world of sorrow, the world of fear and travail. You see, listening is an art. Listening is an art which very few of us are capable of. We never actually listen. The word has a sound. The word has a sound, and when we do not listen to the sound, we interpret, try to translate it into our own particular language or tradition. We never listen acutely without any distortion. So the speaker suggests respectfully that you so listen and not interpret what he says. When you tell a rather exciting story to a little boy, he listens with a tremendous sense of curiosity and energy. He wants to know what is going to happen, and he waits excitedly to the very end. But we grown up people have lost all that curiosity, the energy to find out, that energy which is required to see very clearly things as they are without any distortion. We never listen to each other. You never listen to your wife, do you? You know her much too well, or she you. There is no sense of deep appreciation, friendship, amity, which would make you listen to each other. Whether you like it or not, but if you do listen so completely, that very act of listening is a great miracle. That listening, like seeing, observing, is very important. We never observe. We observe things that are convenient, friendly. We observe only if there is a reward or punishment. I do not know if you have noticed that our whole upbringing, all our education, and our daily life is based on one principle: reward and punishment. We meditate in order to be rewarded. We progress in order to be rewarded, and so on. When we seek a reward, physical or psychological, in that search for a reward, there is also the punishment. If that reward is not satisfying, so could we listen to each other per se for itself, not for something else? Could we listen as we would listen to a marvelous music or to the song of a bird with our hearts, with our minds, with all the energy that we have? Then we can go very far. Most human beings, all of us, seek security, and it takes many forms. Security is a very important. If we are not secure both physically and psychologically, our brains cannot function adequately, fully, energetically. We must have security, but physical security is denied to millions and millions of people. They have hardly one meal a day, and we, the so-called educated, well-to-do people, are all the time seeking, consciously or otherwise, a kind of security which would give us complete satisfaction. We want security, and it is necessary both biologically and psychologically. But in our search for security, we never inquire into what is insecurity. If we can find out together what insecurity is and why we are insecure, then it's very unfolding. Security comes about naturally. There is tremendous disturbance, turmoil, and agony in the external world, and each one wants his own place, his own security, and wants to escape from this terrible state of insecurity. So, can we together inquire into why we are insecure? Into not into what security is, because your security may be an illusion. Your security may be in some romantic concept, in some image, tradition, or in a family and name. Have you ever listened to sound? Have you ever listened to sound? Sound, the universe is filled with sound. The earth is full of sound, and we seek silence. We meditate to find some kind of peace or some kind of silence. But if we understood sound, in the very hearing of the sound, there would be silence. If we understood sound, in the very hearing of the sound, there would be silence. Silence is not separate from sound, but we do not understand that because we never listen to sound. Have you ever sat under a tree when the air is very still, quiet, when not a leaf is dancing? Have you ever sat under a tree like that and listened to the sound of the tree? If there was no silence, there would be no sound. So, the sound of insecurity, the very sound makes us seek security because we have never listened to the sound of insecurity. If we listen to all the implications of insecurity, to the whole movement of insecurity, which makes us invent gods, rituals, and all that, then out of that insecurity, there comes about naturally security. But if you pursue security as something separate from insecurity, then you are in conflict. You know of an evening when the sky is clear, not in Bombay? and there is only one star in the sky and there is absolute silence, if you listen to that silence, in that silence there is sound, and there is no separation between sound and silence. They both go together. In the same way, understands insecurity, its causation. The cause of insecurity is our own limited, broken up psychological state. But when there is a way of living that is holistic, then there is no such thing as security or insecurity. Our lives, if you observe closely, are broken up. Our lives are fragmented, and we have to understand why we human beings who have lived on this marvelous earth for millions of years are so fragmented, so broken up. As we said yesterday, one of the main causes of this breaking up is that the brain is a slave to thought, and thought is limited. Whatever there is limitation, wherever there is limitation, there must be fragmentation. When I am concerned with myself, with my progress, my fulfillment, my happiness, my problems, I have broken up the whole structure of humanity into the me. So one of the factors of why human beings are fragmented is thought, and another of the factors is time. So movement is the time. Time is a series of movements. So movement is time, and time is not only by the watch chronological. Time is the sun rising and the sun setting, the darkness of the night and the brightness of the morning. There is also psychological time, inward time. I am this, but I will become that. I don't know mathematics, but one day I will learn all about it. That requires time. The becoming psychologically also implies time. We have developed as a process of achievement. You do not know how to meditate, so you sit cross legged and learn how to control your thoughts so that one day you will achieve what meditation is supposed to be. We are the past, there is no question about it. And that past gets modified by reaction, by challenges in various ways, and that becomes the future. Look, you have had a civilization in this country for 3 to 5,000 years. That is the past, but modern circumstances demand that you break away from the past, and so you have no culture anymore. You may talk about your past culture and enjoy its past fame, but that past is blown up, scattered by the present demands, the present challenge, and that demand is changing it into an economic entity. So all past and future is in the now. All past and future is in the now. So all time is in the now. And we are saying that thought and time are the major causes of fragmented human beings. Also, we want roots, identification. We want to be identified with a group, a guru, a family, a nation, and so on. The speaker says all time is now. If you understand that it is the most marvelous truth, do you listen to that as a series of words, as an idea, as an abstraction of the truth, or do you capture the truth of it? Which is it that you are doing? Do you see, live with the fact? Or do you make an abstraction of the fact, an idea, and then pursue the idea and not the fact? Intellect is necessary, but probably we have very little intellect anyhow because we have given ourselves over to somebody. So, so when you hear a statement like old time is now, or you are the entire humanity, because your consciousness is one with all the others, how do you listen to it? A holistic life is not possible when there is thought, time, and the desire for identification and for roots. Honesty, like humility, is one of the most important things. Humility has nothing to do with vanity, with pride. It's a state of mind that says, I don't know. I don't know what I am. Let me inquire, and never says, I know. The fact is that the sun rises in the east, you don't agree or disagree with it. So, can we put aside our conditioning of agreeing and disagreeing so that we both can look at facts, so that there is no division between those who agree and those who do not? How am I to put an end to thought and time? Which you cannot. You cannot. That would be absurd because you are the result of time and thought. You will just go round and round in circles. But listen, don't react. Don't ask how, but actually listen as you would listen to some lovely music or to the call of a bird. If you listen to the fact of what is being said and do not react because you are just listening to it, that implies the gathering of all your energy to listen. That means giving tremendous attention to listening. And that very listening breaks down the factors or the causes of fragmentation. If you do something, then you are acting upon the fact. But if there is an observation without distortion, without prejudice, then that very observation, that very perception, which is great attention, burns away the sense of time, thought, and all the rest of it. Then he takes up fear. What is fear? Are you not afraid? If you are really honest for a change, will you not say, I am afraid? For a change, will you not say, I am afraid? Afraid of death, afraid of losing a job, afraid of your wife or husband, afraid of public opinion, afraid of not being recognized by your guru as a great disciple, afraid of the dark, afraid of so many things. We are not talking about the objects of fear, fear of something. We are inquiring into fear per se in itself. So we are asking what is the cause of fear and what is fear without a cause? Is there such a thing as fear without a cause? Or fear, does the word fear, the sound of fear, evokes in us fear? For example, when you hear the word communism, does the word create the fear? Or is the word different from the fear? We are asking, is the word fear different from the fact? Or does the word create the fact? One must be clear about this. If there was no such word as fear, would there be fear? You see, sir, the word love is not that flame. Similarly, the word fear may not be the sense of being gripped, of living in a state of nervousness. So time is the future and the past, as I explained now, and also thought. Thought and time are the two factors of fear. You cannot do anything about it. Don't ask how am I to stop thinking. It is too silly a question because you have got to think. To go from here to your house, to drive a car, to speak a language, but time may not be necessary at all psychologically inwardly. So we are saying fear exists because of two major factors of time and thought, in which is involved reward and punishment. Sirs, learn the art of listening. Sirs, this is the last this thing of this talk. Sirs, learn the art of listening to your wife, to your husband. Listen to the man in the street, his hunger, his poverty, his desperation, and the lack of love. Listen to it. When you listen, at that moment, you have no problems. You have no turmoil. You are just listening, and therefore, there is no time in the act of listening. So, this is all for today in this second talk. This is exclusively more about listening. How do we listen? And what impediments are there? Whether whether I really listen, whether I have come here to listen something which I have no knowledge about, or something has already happened after listening to this talk. This is this will continue in talk third talk, and we'll finish it in all the four talks in coming sessions. So this is all he had to say. And listening, listening, listening. This is it so difficult for all of us? We maybe say, I am listening to you, sir. So one has to go deep in himself. Is he listening? Is he listening? Whether listening and what for he is listening, why he has come here, reward and punishment. So we have to be very clear what is the motive, why we have collected here, what we have. Do you want to say something about these things? So this is all for this talk. You are welcome to reflect on this today, and let it continue till everything is clear to all of us. Thank you very much for giving me time. Today I have tried to finish it in all the half the time.
Thank you, Pradeepji. Anybody wants to say something?
May I say something?
Yes, sir.
Harshad Bhai, welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Pradeep ji. I'm also not turning on the video because internet is not very strong here.
Okay.
What I get one sentence in this talk, the word is not the thing. Like Krishna ji talked about the word fear. If there was no word like fear, will there be any fear? I would say yes, it's an instinct. When you see suddenly animal charging at you or a vehicle, there will be that kind of running away from that wild animal. So fear can exist also without the word. And also, I think Kabir said something, "Pani pani ratte ratte, pyasa hi mar jaye." So if you keep on repeating the word water, it will not quench your thirst. You have to actually the water, you have to drink it. Similarly, all these words which we are listening from Krishna Krishnamurti or other teachers, if they are just remain as word, as idea, as some concept, it doesn't touch us. But what is behind that word? Are we able to look clear works? Why there are so many thoughts? Have we been very curious to look at the beginning of a thought? Because there are so many thousands of thoughts come and go in our mind. Are we curious to even watch one thought at its root? And that requires energy, curiosity, attention, honesty, and all that means freedom is at the beginning. How do we look, whether we are looking at a thought or a tree? Because it seems that when we look at a tree, we are not really looking non-verbally. Our mind is chattering, and that tree doesn't mean anything to us. And if somebody asks some question, we will say it is a mango tree or neem tree. But can we look without the word mango tree or neem tree? Asking even little students, how do you look at a tree or face of your friend? Saying that there is a different way, not through the knowledge which we have gathered, but through the silent mind. And that can happen only when we have worked very much, uh, being curious to look at the beginning of a thought, and in that sometimes thought may stop. And then either it could be very frightening when the thought stops, or it could be an extraordinary state of pure awareness. And that pure awareness without thinking is maybe very rare. Human beings are frightened of thought coming to an end because it is like a psychological death. It means there is no me there when there is no thinking. And that, because that is very frightening, we try to run away from our own selves, and we involve ourselves into many activities, reading, trying to understand Krishnamurti is, I feel, it is a waste of time if there is a lot of thinking involved in understanding Krishnamurti. So Krishnamurti can be understood clearly while we are listening to Krishnamurti, and not later on looking at his word and analyzing everything. And Krishnamurti doesn't make his thought very simple and clear. I feel it's very abstract language, and a person who has really understood what Krishnamurti is saying can make it very simple by saying to people that sit alone. Don't be afraid to sit alone and turn the attention inward and see what is happening in your mind, how these thoughts are coming. And I think if some people can do it who are very curious, like the way that little boy Nachiketa was curious to know about what happens after death. Similarly, when us, a human being is curious to look at his own inner world, not in order to achieve anything, not that you, somebody, Krishnamurti asks a question and then you start thinking, not that way. Our mind is working all the time, and then it is like a train which is moving and getting into that train and then moving with the train. That means moving with what is. And that is the extraordinary thing, what Krishnamurti has said, that in moving with what is, It means moving with thought. There is no psychological time. There is no division between the observer and the observed, and that is a real thing. Moving with what is. In that, there is no psychological time, there is a freshness, there is a regeneration of our mind. So only people who are interested in experimenting, forgetting everything what Krishnamurti has said, not thinking about what Krishnamurti has said, but looking directly, person can do it, can understand Krishnamurti very, very quickly, and then even Krishnamurti is not required. Not to keep on quoting Krishnamurti and explaining. That is, I think it is an intellectual activity. The only thing is non-verbal looking at the world outside, as well as the thoughts which are arising from the dimension of awareness, not thinking, trying to think more. That is living that level. The real thing is coming out from this thinking, the plane of awareness, and then looking at thinking. So that requires a freedom to look, and that's why what Krishnamurti says is very, very difficult for most people. Okay, I think I have said enough thing. Thank you.
Dinesh ji,
We have passed a lot of time, so much time has passed, and this circle also it is almost 5 years. After that, we are well. Okay. Today I am going to ask only questions, some questions, and those questions itself are having answers. If a man studies very well. First of all, the topic is thought and time are always together. They are not separate movements. So what? So what? What is time? Physical as well as psychological. Is it not a mental construct for all? A recording register created by the man? Is there any phenomenon like time? Just to measure the events, man has constructed the time. Right? What is thought? See the totality and go deep for learning. Leave aside all the topics and matters, etc., etc. We have already discussed. We are just repeating the things, and we have already discussed all this many times in the past. Just now, Ashil sir has said, पानी पानी रट रट के आदमी को पानी नहीं मिलता. But I don't know who was facing Kabir at that time, because this is the phenomena of outer world. पानी पानी रट के पानी मिलना. This is the phenomena of outer world, not the inner world. In the inner world, when you repeat a thought is creating problem. JK himself is saying. So can you use thought positively? Yes. People are using thought positively by repeating okay, JK says that man has created God. Okay, created God. Let us consider that man has created God. But God is not exactly like man. He has got all the powers shown, and the various hands have been shown, and various ornaments as well as all the arsenals has been shown. Why? Just to if you repeat them, his thought can thought create those things? This is my question. So pani pani ratke, that is it cannot be compared with that, right? So what is thought? See the totality and go deep for learning. Leave aside all the topics matters we have already discussed. Can a man live without thought? can a man live without thought, which is a normal function in a human system? Else he will become a zombie. If he is having no thought, then he will become a zombie. Is it not? It is. It is the development of thought which makes man different from other species. This is a fact. Is it not? So, why this subject? Thought and time are always together. So what? Without thought, there can never be any improvement, and to cut short the time, without thought, there can never be any improvement. You have seen all the technology development and other things are creation of thought. Similarly, insecurity is a must. To tackle insecurity, the past background is a must, because the human system is already having limitations. Human system has got limitations. If it is attacked by the tiger, it can't help himself. So he has to go for the other data and his past knowledge. He may, there was a news some days back that the man was chased by leopard. He immediately, tiger. So he has immediately, I do not know what it has been told to, what we say. झाड़ पे चढ़ गया वो. He's climbed a tree. So why? How come? Because he was having some past record that tiger cannot climb the tree. So without thought, there can never be any improvement. And to cut short the time, how he says that you can cut short the time. Yes, but it is for the it depends on the uniqueness of a person. He is having that energy of freedom available to him. Otherwise, you will see after 70 years also, he said there was not much improvement in the people. Why? If it is that much powerful, whatever his teachings are, then most of the people would have get transformed. But it is not. Why? You may say that they are not listening, they are not able to speak, and they are not honest. They don't have honesty and all that. There can be any number of reasons you can give. They are not interested. They are superficial. They are technically only discussed. Not don't go into deep, etc., etc. The fact remains. But the fact remains that very few people have reached to that place. Or I don't know whether anybody has reached to what state he is saying. Whether any silence of mind, remain in silence of mind, then again coming back, and then remain without psychological thoughts, and then do the things. Okay, for monk, he may try for this, for a businessman or for a normal boy. Is it so easy? Without thought, can there be no there can never be an improvement, and to cut short the time is only possible for some unique person who are having less movement of mind in outer world and are having abundant free energy. This covers the becoming also. They are not interested in becoming anything. Reward and punishment. Okay, fine. Both are problematic. Is there any third way to teach to a small boy or children? Is there any third way? Come on. Time and thought together. Time and thought remain always together. Is it? What about a man sitting in front in funeral, where time becomes psychologically slow, whereas thought speed depends or varies as per his uniqueness? Is it not? Insecurity. Thought registered the experiences to tackle the insecurity. Not it. Because of the human system limitation, insecurity will always be there in different forms. So one has to see from all the angles. He himself is saying that you see from the totality, total all angles, and then come out with something. See, anybody has experimented with what JK said? I have experimented this death phenomena. See, there is no such difference in my psyche, at least my experience. There is no such difference in psyche. So what happened? My even the useful memory also started going. This is very surprising. If you touch the psychological memory, all the physical and world memory and all other memories also will touch. And if you remain with that and you try to this, then there is a so-called fragmentation and this thing. But then you face the dementia. You don't remember the names. You don't remember the particularly the memory of the day. Long past memory, you will have to work very hard. Then only you can touch if you are having a particularly very free energy. That also I have been doing, and I got some good results. At least fear and all other my problems have gone to some extent, like fear and hard feelings and all that. Those have gone to some extent, or they have lost their control on me. But what about other things? Because they are all linked. So one has to really see what he himself has said, that we are in conversation, and you should be skeptical, and you should check what he is saying and whether it applies to you. More important is whether it applies to you, because this is my views are this is definitely linked to the uniqueness of a person. One person can do it, other person cannot do it. So this is so. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the time being. Then we will see if anything comes. Thank you.
Anybody else wants to comment about time and thought always together? Surely Prasad sir will want to say something.
Yes, sir.
Please unmute, sir.
I have unmuted, sir.
Prasad sir.
Yes, sir, I have
Yes,
unmuted.
sir.
Sir, this is quite a complex topic. Thought and time are always together. Time, they say, he says there are two types. One is physical time, the other is psychological time. Actually, somewhere he says there is a third type of time, which is actually timeless state. So we have physical time, we have psychological time, and the timeless state. That is how I understand. Thought, of course, is inevitable in the physical time state, because physical time is required, physical time, or you call it chronological time, it is required in all functional areas. If you want to catch a train, you want to drive, in all these things, the physical time is required. You can't escape it. If you don't observe the physical time, you will miss your train. What is psychological time? Psychological time is basically memory. You remember your past, and your past is affecting your present, and it is modifying your future. Your present is basically emanates from your past, and it affects your future. That is how Krishnaji says, I think, both the past and the future are in the present moment. We remember our boyhood, your past experiences, and all that. So but we want to reach that timeless state. For that, you must have a free mind, a mind that is free of both the past and the present and the future. In other words, he says, when the experiencer is not there, and experience also is not there, because experience is basically accumulation in the brain of whatever has happened to you. When you have that innocent mind, which means there is no experiencer, there is no experience, there is only experiencing. In that state, you touch the timeless state. So, thought and time are always together. Yes, when there is a thought, there is time. Either functional thought or psychological thought. They are there. Whenever there is. So they are together. Thought and time are together. Basically, we live in thought, which means we live in time. We cannot escape thought. So we also do not escape time. That's why we live in time. And because we live in time, we have all the worries, anxieties. All these things, the garbage of the mind, like your envy, all these things, envy, ambition, trying to reach some state, this becoming, he puts it in a different way also. He says, you are always trying to become something, trying to become from the state of what is, you are trying to reach the state of what should be. You are angry and you want to get rid of anger. So like that, the brain is caught in the process of becoming, which is the process of time. This process of becoming is the state of that is the time, which is thought also. So thought and time go together. You cannot reach, we normally cannot reach that state of freedom from thought, which means freedom from time. So thought and time, they are always together. They are not separate movements. It is not as though you are free of thought but caught in time. When you have no thought, you have no time also. You don't live in time when you have no thought. So long as you are living in the state of time, the process of thought is going on. It is the same thing actually. So I think it is quite a valid proposition that they are together. Time and thought are together. And then there is another small point which Harshadji has touched. That is, if there is no word fear, is there fear? I think largely it is valid. The word fear also creates fear. Without that word, fear in our mind, when we do not have that word in our mind, that fear also will not be there. But of course, I think he has given the example of somebody running away from a tiger. Yes, when we run away, possibly there is no word fear. There is no word fear. We are just fleeing. Maybe the word fear is not there when we are in that process of flight. Anyway, sir, these are my comments. Thank you.
Sir. Sir, when you said thought and time are together, did you mean psychological time or chronological time? Prasad sir,
Sir, you are
when
asking
you
me or
said,
you are asking Pradeep?
yes, I
Pradeep?
am asking you.
What is the question?
The I was asking you when you said that thought and time are together.
Yeah.
Did you mean psychological time?
Yes, both functionally and psychologically, thought is there. In psychological thought, that is when you are remembering your boyhood, there is thought, and that is psychological time. And functional thought, we all know. A scientist experimenting, he is definitely in thought. So, thought is always there with the time. Whether it is psychological time or physical time, only thought is not there in that timeless state. When you are free of time, that is the timeless state. In that state, there is no thought. When thought is not there, there is timeless state.
What I feel that chronological time is not dependent upon thought or no thought.
It is, psychological time is dependent on thought only. When there is no...
Chronological time.
Huh? Pardon?
Chronological time.
Is definitely...
Chronological time is not dependent.
Chronological time is required, and that is thought only. Psychological time is also thought. So thought and time are together always.
May I make a comment?
If thought
Kamlesh
stops,
ji,
yes, sir, yes, Harshad, sir.
Kam- yeah,
Yes, sir.
since we are discussing about these two kinds of time, I want to say something interesting which I found is that when Einstein was a boy, he asked a question to himself how this world will look if Einstein traveled with the speed of light. And the speed of light is very, very fast, 186,000 miles per second. And because he was a boy, he did not know the answer of how the world will look if he traveled with the speed of light. But when he developed the theory of relativity, it came that if a person travels with the speed of light, chronological time stops. That means if you remain young forever, your body doesn't, there is no chronological time, there is no growth of the body. And that is a wonderful observation. But the problem is that we cannot travel with the speed of light. It's not possible from the theory also. Similarly, when a person can travel with thought itself. That means the observer and the observed, the thinker and the thought is like moving with what is. It is like moving on the crest of thought. And in that, there is no psychological time. The psychological time stops when there is no conflict, no division between the thinker and thought. And that is uh, it may seem like an idea to most people, but when our mind really are deeply interested in looking at thinking itself without any motive, uh, thinking stops by itself. There is no time stops, psychological time stops. And that is the state where our body and mind both are refreshed. And that is what meditation is. Real meditation is no division between thinker and thought, no conflict, moving with what is. So even there may be a thought, but there is no thinker. And so it can go on without any conflict. So one doesn't need to really be free also from thinking to be in the timeless state. That is what I am trying to say. That thought can go on without thinker and there is no conflict. And one can see everything very, very clearly. Not only the inner world, but the outer world can also be seen clearly. That is one thing. And why we don't transform, that is what Dinesh ji asked that question. It is because I feel that we are not really curious at the inner world. Even the scientists, they are interested in learning about the atom and the universe, and they can even go inside the atom and look at the movement of electron. But it is the outside world. Only when a person there is no thinking. And that, as I said before, it is frightening for most people to have no thought. It is like a psychological death. And that is why we don't transform, because we are living habitually because we learn language and we have a memory, and thought is the movement of words which we have learned. And it is kind of a automatic uh, process which goes on within us. But only when we become curious, then it may stop. This habitual automatic process can stop only when we can really look very, very curiously at our own mind. Okay, I have said enough thing right now. Thank you.
Shakti ji.
Yes, sir. Is my voice reaching, sir?
Yes, sir.
You know, this thought is like inner self-talk. And after listening to Krishnamurti and reading him, this question often arose in my mind that, you know, we all of us, we talk when it is needed. And when it is not needed, we are not talking. But this self-talk within, which is thought, it goes on even when it is not needed. So that means talking is in the realm of volition. If I wish, I talk. If I wish, I keep quiet. And thinking or self-talk, is it not in the realm of volition? Because you see, it is like, is it a necessity? Is it a biological necessity to think all the time? Or this mechanical thought, which goes on all the time, it's a conditioning. Is it a conditioning? So this question was within me. And I feel that, you know, this mechanical thought, which goes on all the time, it happens only in the state of unawareness. So this question of awareness becomes very important in life. So this is not the question of, you know, stopping thought, but thinking when it is needed. And when it is not needed, is it not possible to remain quiet, as we don't talk when we don't need it? So these were the questions which I wanted to share with you. I still don't have any answer, because I see that most of the time I'm unaware. And whenever there is unawareness, there is some sort of thought goes on inside. It's like a continuous self-talk, but it can be washed, as Harshadji says. So these are the things I wanted to share. Thank you.
Pradeep sir, please unmute.
Yes. So it's audible. I am audible.
Yes.
I wanted to say something. What we are discussing is the words. We are trying to, initially we try to understand Krishnamurti rather than understanding yourself. Krishnamurti said very clearly, if we have listened to him, that use me like a mirror. Use me like a mirror, and then you are there, nobody else. You alone are there, your uniqueness is there. Whosoever spoke, ever, Greek, Latin to Buddha, to Upanishad, the Vedas, Upanishads, and Buddha, and all the contemporary seers, including Krishnamurti, Nisargadatta, in name, Dada Gavan, number of them. Why they spoke? To elevate the suffering of humanity as such. You see, till everybody is free from, they had a very Mahayana or Buddhism, they had a very big plan till everybody is liberated of freedom. I will not sit quiet, something like that. So it starts with suffering, and suffering is, we all know, is different with our uniqueness. Unique sufferings we all have. So ultimately, the only resolve, the only thing, the only solution is myself only. I know how I am attached to my traditions, rituals, whatever it is, all my attachments, I know it. It is not a matter of debate or discussion. Each person has to see his unique fears, insecurities, and suffering. That is ultimate suffering, conflict, suffering. So each one has to see him in himself and herself is or her suffering. And then if you see it clearly, suffering, as he said, everybody said that solution lies in the problem. But we run away from the problem, invariably looking for some easy, uh, tell me why approach, how to get it. So the only thing is you have to see it in yourself. Yourself, each one of us has all the solutions, but it is unfortunate with that treasure with us, in all of us. We are running here and there, disturbing ourselves and others, this war and that thing, power and prestige. So each one has to see whether that suffering in him or her has is psychological or physical. If at all he wants to divide it, otherwise everything is psychological only. So he has to see in himself whether a word is required to talk about that suffering, whether word heals. If you repeat certain words, it gives a temporary uh, calm and peacefulness, but that doesn't stay. Your sufferings are so very different. At that time you forget that it what I was what I had realized, that this is fact. You have to be with the fact, physical, biological, psychological, that you alone can find out. Nobody else can find out, sir. We are discussing as if out of this discussion my problems, then we go back to our homes, live with our all those problems. What is the use? What is the use? We go on discussing words and words and words and words. We love words. So we have to see that, use these people as mirror only, and see it in yourself to which category your suffering belongs to. It's not difficult. Everybody knows about it, that I needed a car, so that is a suffering. I am biologic, I am sick, I need that is suffering. So these things each one of us will find out, and whether it is related to some superficial words around that, or that won't allow you to see deeply in your problem, biological or otherwise psychological. All those things, he talks about hatred and jealousy and anxiety and all those. Why in the present scenario neurotics are increasing by leaps and bounds? Why there are more psychiatrists needed right now? If everything is possible, everybody will find out his solutions. Then why this condition has come? It has worsened. It has worsened. What could be the reason? I am not there. I am not doing this. What is this? We always separate ourselves somehow. That I am not responsible for Ukraine war. This is the way we are approaching. So each one of us we have to see our own unique problem and suffering and be with it. And I think lot can be achieved this way. If achievement is may not be the right word, you can be out of your sufferings. You will not ask what is psychological time and what is chronological time and what is physical, material, and ethereal and all that words. So we have to be, we can be, he said in various words, he said, be light unto yourself. I cannot help you if you have come here for the help. I cannot help you. Everybody says so. Be with yourself. Raman Maharshi. Anybody, who are you? So this is what I say, that our approach itself is from the other end, from not from ourselves, from my heart and soul, whatever I am. We think that through discussions, we may find something that will solve my problem. I doubt very much, friends. Thank you very much giving me extra time today. Murthy ji has not talked about today. YD Murthy has not talked.
Can I say something in between?
Let others say something because they have not been given chance. Murthy Saab and others.
Murthy Sahib is not there, Pradeep sir.
Acha, he has
Yeah.
already, because he has read about
Okay.
these things. Probably he has understood it for himself. Ravi Kaushal is there.
Dinesh ji has raised his hand.
Or
Let him say
somebody
something.
else would like to speak, or can I make?
Sir, first of
Okay.
all, I would like to say
Dinesh ji.
something. Can I say?
Please
Yes,
do
Prasad,
that.
can I say?
Please do that.
First of all, here is a statement from my side. We all have become a very good Krishnamurti Bhakt. This is neither a positive statement, nor negative statement, nor a sarcastic. This is a statement. Number one. Number two, whatever Shakti ji has said, this is a normal feature of human mind. The subconscious mind always tries to, when you are free, subconscious mind always tries to make your thoughts in order. So whatever you have not given the attention, those thoughts will come in front of you. Say, for example, I like very much a song, Kabir song particularly, let us say. So I have not given much attention to it from the Krishnamurti point of view. It means my liking is attached to that particular song, and similar likings are also there. So I have to see whether such likings are there, and I have to be free from them. Unless I have to be free from them, how I can reach to the timeless state? I can never be. Number two, what is this timeless state? Experiencing, when somebody says experiencing. Experiencing is also a dual phenomena. If something is there, something is getting manifested. It's a dual phenomena. Something and something is not. This is a dual phenomena. So one has to go even beyond that. Nobody is there. So this is not a timeless state basically. Timeless state is when both are not there. So that is again a beyond statement, beyond going state. Number three, what Harshad sir said, whether I have forgotten because there are so many points there. And this is also, I should not say that JK has done this, but this is because of my own meditation that I have become very less in making sequences now. Otherwise, earlier I was very good in making sequences. So what I want to say, one has to see from all the angles, totality, and then he has to go deep. Then only he can do it. He has to experiment it. Then he can know something. We are just repeating the words of JK and our words also. There is no nudity in it. 5 years, we are whatever we said. There is some
Sound.
from either Pradeep sent.
No.
So Pradeep sent, sir, because that green mark is there. Please mute Mr. Pradeep.
It is not coming from my side, sir.
Sir, it is already green. This thing is coming from. Anyway, so we are just repeating the words. Has anybody gone deep and has used his brain and his mind? What JK is saying, has he challenged or just listen? Why one should listen, or why we should just why or see without any image or all that? It is see, whenever you see somebody, automatically image is created. So the right thing is, whatever he said is freedom from listening and freedom from the image. Image will always be there. Whatever you listen, that always be there. Your past memory will be there, but you should have the freedom. And that freedom is possible only when you are having the free energy. So many times he has used the word energy. Has anybody seen at the other places what they mean by the energy? that also we have to see. So unless we go into deep, okay, Kamlesh sir, already there is 5 minutes left. Thank you.
Ravi Kaushal ji. Ravi Kaushal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Loud and clear.
Hello. Okay. So today's topic is, I think, thought and time are always together. Okay. Sorry, sir. First of all, actually, I'm bit late. Actually, a long late. A bit more late, actually. But anyhow, this is, thought and time are always together. So I see that it's not that thought and time. To me, it's thought is time. So whether if there is a chronological time, then also the thought is required. When this psychological time, the thought is required. So it is our concern is that the physical thought or the physical time is at the right place, but that is the wrong movement, which is the psyche going on in us. So to see that, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. And to see that, how you see that, how you see the time. So I see it's there is one quote of mine that time is the biggest deception created by mind for its own continuity. So the center is in continuity through time. So that is, and the me maintains with that. That is the thing that maintains the center. If there is momentum. So when this guy, I little listen them, but this Dinesh ji said about this thing, how can I meet that timeless? So sir, I can say that you cannot meet with the timeless. You means no center can meet with the timeless. No center. The center itself is, the momentum. And the momentum has this thirst to meet with the timeless. And it cannot. There is no, it cannot. I can say that. And this somewhere Harshad Parekh also said beautiful things, but one thing he says, I think, living with something like that, moving with the thought. Moving with the thought, what thing move with the thought? What is there which move with the thought? The center is saying that. There is a center. which wants to move. There is only a movement, and that is all thing.
Can I say something now? I
I
remembered
want
what
to respond from
Harshad sir has said about Einstein's theory of relativity. Basically, sir, we should once again go through the theory of relativity. What Einstein said is, if you go with the speed of light, then there will be no time. But what time he has defined? That doesn't mean if you go with the speed of light, then you will go in the past. That is all the mental concepts and stories, and this thing has been created. Imagination has been created. That will never happen. Right now, just the events never stop. Events never stop by the Einstein theory. Events happen, and then you can say that this is so. Say, for example, now Einstein, this scientists have found one planet with a lot of water in it. But they said this is the phenomena of so many past years. Now light has reached to us. So this theory one has to see. Yes, second theory of relativity is okay. That whenever a light passes through a gravitational force, it gets deviated. That is okay. But what about first? E is equal to mc square. That is okay. Theoretically it is okay. But that doesn't mean you can go into past and you can do many things and then you can come again. And similarly, your body, this thing, aging will stop. No, sir. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you.
Einstein said that we can go into the past. Nothing like that. It's not been said. Only he said that if it is possible for a human being to travel at the speed of light, time stops. That means there is no growth in the body. You remain what you are. That is what. Not about going into the past. But I want to say something about the when Pradeepji read this article of Krishnamurti, round and round. That reminds me of a rat which has a short tail, and it was trying to catch its own tail and it was not able to, it was going round and round. So our all these intellectual verbal dialogues is like going in round and round. Only when we are very silent, very curious to and turn the attention inward, maybe there is and some new thing can happen if it happens. But even there, as I said, there could be a lot of fear when thinking stops. And that's why we don't want thinking to stop, and we continue with our habitual activity of thinking and doing the work in the world, entertainment and all that. Okay, I finish.
Thank you, Harshad sir.
Yeah, we can stop now.
Time has come to 7:31. So chronologically, we will have to end the meeting. Psychologically, we may remain with it, with the words and all those things. But thanks all for participation. Thank you.